Family dinners were supposed to be a time of warmth and togetherness, but for me, they were a reminder of how alone I truly was. I always tried to fit in, to help, to be noticed, but no matter what I did, I was invisible, just a shadow at the edge of the table. That night, as we sat around the table, my parents' words cut deeper than any knife. "Nobody needs you," my mother said, her voice cold and final. My father just nodded, not even looking at me. The rest of the family fell silent, their eyes fixed on their plates. I felt the sting of tears, but I refused to let them see me break. Instead, I just smiled. And in that moment, I decided to do what they never expected. Growing up, I was always the quiet one. My older brother was the golden child, athletic, charming, the one who made my parents proud. My younger sister was the baby, doted on and adored. I was the middle child, the peacemaker, the one who tried to keep everyone happy. I did well in school, helped around the house, and never caused trouble, but it was never enough. My achievements were met with polite nods, my struggles ignored. At family gatherings, I was the one who set the table, cleared the dishes, and listened to everyone else's stories. I longed for approval, for a sign that I mattered, but it never came. That night at dinner, the conversation turned to my brother's new job and my sister's upcoming wedding. My parents beamed with pride, showering them with praise and attention. I tried to join in, to share a story from my own life, but my mother cut me off. "Nobody needs you to speak, dear," she said, her tone dismissive. "Let your brother and sister have their moment." I felt my cheeks burn with embarrassment. I looked around the table, hoping someone would defend me, but no one did. My father just kept eating, and my siblings avoided my gaze. Then my mother said it. The words that would change everything. "Nobody needs you. You're just there." The silence that followed was deafening. I wanted to scream, to run, to disappear, but instead, I just smiled. I realized in that moment that I'd spent my whole life waiting for their approval, their love, and I was done waiting. After dinner, I went to my room and packed a small bag. I didn't cry. I didn't leave a note. I just slipped out the door and walked into the night, the cool air clearing my mind. I decided to do what my parents never expected. I would live for myself. I would stop trying to fit into a family that didn't want me, and start building a life that did. I found a small apartment in the city, took a job at a local bookstore, and enrolled in night classes at the community college. It wasn't easy. Money was tight, and there were nights when the loneliness felt overwhelming. But for the first time, I was making choices for myself. At the bookstore, I met people who saw me for who I was. There was Mrs. Patel, the owner, who encouraged me to share my love of poetry with customers. There was Jamie, a fellow student, who became my first real friend. And there were the regulars, people who came in for a book and stayed for a conversation. I started a book club, organized poetry readings, and even wrote a few articles for the local paper. My confidence grew. With every new experience, I discovered talents I never knew I had: public speaking, event planning, even teaching. Slowly, I built a community, people who valued me, who listened when I spoke, who needed me, not because I was family, but because I was me. A year passed. I hadn't spoken to my family since the night I left. Then, one afternoon, my mother called. Her voice was hesitant, almost nervous. "We're having a family dinner," she said. "Your sister wants you to come." I hesitated, unsure if I was ready to face them. But Jamie encouraged me. "You've changed. You're stronger now. Go, show them who you are." I agreed. When I walked into the house, everything felt different. My parents looked older, my siblings quieter. The table was set, but the atmosphere was tense. Dinner began with the usual small talk. My brother talked about work, my sister about her wedding plans. My parents listened, but their eyes kept drifting to me. Finally, my mother spoke. "We heard you started a book club, and that you were published in the paper." I nodded. "Yes, I've been busy." There was a pause. My father cleared his throat. "We didn't realize you were doing so much." I smiled, calm and confident. "There's a lot you didn't realize. I spent years trying to be what you wanted, but I'm happy now, living my own life." My mother looked down, her voice barely a whisper. "We're sorry. We didn't mean to push you away." I nodded, accepting her words but not letting them define me. "I'm not here for your approval. I'm here because I wanted you to see who I've become." After dinner, My sister pulled me aside. I'm proud of you, she said. You showed them what they never expected. Asterisk, I hugged her, feeling a sense of closure. I realized that I didn't need my family's validation to be whole. I had built a life on my own terms, surrounded by people who valued me for who I was. Asterisk, as I left the house that night, I felt lighter. I knew there would still be challenges, still moments of doubt, but I also knew that I was strong enough to face them. Asterisk, my parents once said, nobody needs you. But I smiled, because I knew the truth. I needed myself, and that was enough. Asterisk, if you've ever felt unwanted or invisible, remember, your worth isn't defined by others. Sometimes, the best thing you can do is smile, walk away, and build the life they never imagined you could. Asterisk, asterisk.